In a small house on the edge of the city lived a boy named Kaito. His home, though modest and worn, was filled with warmth and love. Inside, Kaito, a young boy with bright eyes and a gentle smile, sits near a small fireplace. The fire is but a flicker, struggling to keep the room warm. Kaito looks longingly at a picture of his family, a reminder of happier times. Kaito, once full of joy and laughter, now carried the weight of the world on his young shoulders. Christmas was approaching, a time for celebration, but for Kaito, it was a reminder of what he had lost. Kaito hears children outside, laughing and playing in the snow. He gazes out, a mix of longing and sadness in his eyes. The festive cheer of the outside world seemed a distant dream to him. All he wished for was a Christmas filled with happiness, like the ones he once knew. The scene shifts to a vibrant Christmas market in the heart of the city. Stalls adorned with colorful lights and decorations line the streets, each offering an array of festive goods and treats. Despite the chill in the air, the city was alive with the spirit of Christmas. The market, a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds, beckoned Kaito with its festive allure. Kaito, wrapped in an old, tattered coat, walks through the market. His eyes widen in wonder at the sights and sounds around him. The laughter of children, the scent of roasted chestnuts, and the melody of Christmas carols fill the air. Kaito wandered through the market, each step a reminder of the joy he once felt during this festive season. The bright lights and cheerful faces around him stood in stark contrast to the loneliness he felt inside. He stops in front of a stall selling handmade toys. A wooden train catches his eye, reminding him of a similar toy his father had given him years ago. He reaches out, hesitantly touching it, lost in memories. The simple toy, so full of warmth and nostalgia, brought a faint smile to Kaito's face. For a moment, he was transported back to a time when Christmas was a celebration of love and togetherness. As Kaito stands there, lost in thought, a kind stall owner, an elderly woman with a warm smile, notices him. She watches him with a mix of curiosity and empathy. The stall owner, Mrs. Sato, had seen many faces at her stall over the years, but Kaito's expression of pure longing was something she couldn't overlook.
This train seems to have caught your eye, young man. It's one of my favorites, too.
Kaito looks up, startled, and quickly withdraws his hand as if he's done something wrong.
I'm sorry, I was just looking. I can't afford it.
Mrs. Sato's expression softens further. She hands the train to Kaito.
Consider it an early Christmas gift. Everyone deserves a bit of happiness, especially at this time of year.
Kaito's eyes widen in disbelief. A mix of gratitude and surprise washes over his face. He hesitates, unsure how to respond. For Kaito, this simple act of kindness was more than just receiving a toy. It was a beacon of hope, a reminder that the spirit of Christmas was still alive in the hearts of strangers. Kaito holds the train close, his eyes brimming with tears. He manages a small, sincere smile.
Thank you.
As Kaito walks away, clutching the wooden train, the camera pans up to show the bustling market around him, now seen through a lens of renewed hope and warmth. With a heart a little lighter, Kaito stepped back into the cold night. The wooden train in his hands a symbol of unexpected kindness in a world that had seemed so bleak. The scene transitions to a quieter part of the market, where a small group of street musicians is playing Christmas carols. The melodies are sweet and haunting, filling the air with a sense of magic and nostalgia. Music, the language of the soul, floated through the crisp winter air. Kaito, drawn by the melodies, found himself standing before a group of street musicians. The musicians, a diverse group of individuals of various ages, play with a passion that resonates with the onlookers. Among them, a girl slightly older than Kaito plays the violin with a grace that captivates him. The violinist, her fingers dancing over the strings, played with a joy that seemed to light up the night. In her music, Kaito heard echoes of happier times, a reminder of the beauty that still existed in his world. Kaito closes his eyes, allowing the music to envelop him. For a moment, he is lost in the melody, transported away from his sorrows. In that brief, beautiful moment, Kaito felt a connection to something greater than himself. The music was a gift, freely given, yet priceless in its ability to heal and inspire. As the song concludes, the crowd applauds. Kaito opens his eyes, and for the first time in a long while, there is a genuine smile on his face. The power of music had reached into Kaito's heart, rekindling a light that had been dimmed by hardship and loss. In this symphony of strings and notes, he found a piece of joy he thought he had lost forever. The scene shifts to a quiet park adjacent to the market. Snowflakes gently fall, each one glistening under the streetlights. Kaito, holding the wooden train and with the music still echoing in his heart, finds a secluded bench under a large bare tree. Away from the hustle and bustle of the market, Kaito sought refuge under the vast starry sky. The night, with its serene beauty, offered him a moment of peace and reflection. Kaito looks up at the sky, his eyes tracing the constellations. The stars seem to twinkle with a message of hope and resilience. He clutches the wooden train, now not just a toy, but a symbol of kindness and a reminder of the joy he found this night. In the silence of the night, Kaito realized that even in his darkest moments, there were still stars to light his way. The generosity of a stranger, the magic of music, and now the tranquil beauty of the night sky had rekindled a spark within him. As Kaito gazes at the stars, a shooting star arcs across the sky. He closes his eyes and makes a wish, a simple, heartfelt wish for a future filled with moments as beautiful as this one. A shooting star, a fleeting yet awe-inspiring sight, was Kaito's companion in that instant. In its brief journey across the heavens, it carried with it the hopes and dreams of a boy who had rediscovered the beauty in life. This Christmas might not have brought Kaito material gifts, but it had given him something far more precious, moments of unexpected joy, and a renewed sense of hope. The scene transitions to a bustling soup kitchen, not far from the park. Volunteers, cheerful and full of holiday spirit, are serving hot meals to those in need. The warm glow from the kitchen spills out into the cold night. In the heart of the city, a small soup kitchen was a haven of warmth and generosity. Here, people from all walks of life came together, united by the spirit of giving. Kaito, drawn by the inviting aroma and warmth, hesitantly steps inside. The sight of families and individuals sharing a meal together brings a sense of community to his heart. Kaito, standing at the threshold, felt a tug at his heart. The simple act of sharing a meal, a gesture of kindness and togetherness, was a powerful reminder of what Christmas truly meant. A volunteer, a middle-aged man with a kind face, notices Kaito and gestures for him to join. Kaito, initially reluctant, slowly makes his way to a table where a few others are seated. As Kaito took his seat among strangers, he felt a barrier within him start to crumble. In the company of others, sharing in the warmth of the kitchen, he was no longer an outsider. The people at the table welcome Kaito, offering him bread and soup. As he eats, Kaito listens to their stories, each one a tapestry of life's highs and lows. With each word, he feels more connected, more a part of this makeshift family. In the sharing of food and stories, Kaito found a sense of belonging. The laughter and conversations around him were a balm to his lonely soul. As the evening progresses, Kaito finds himself laughing and engaging with the others. For the first time in a long time, he feels a sense of joy and community. That night, Kaito discovered the true gift of Christmas wasn't in what you receive, but in what you share. The joy, the warmth, the sense of belonging, these were the true treasures of the season. The scene opens to a quaint, snow-covered street lined with glowing lanterns. Kaito, after leaving the soup kitchen, walks slowly, his heart full from the evening's experiences. The wooden train is still clutched in his hand, a tangible reminder of the day's unexpected joys. The magic of Christmas Eve enveloped the city. As Kaito wandered through the streets, each step was lighter, each breath filled with the crisp, cold air of winter's embrace. Snowflakes begin to fall more heavily, blanketing the world in a serene white. Kaito reaches a small hill overlooking the city, the lights twinkling like distant stars. From atop the hill, Kaito gazed upon the city below. The hustle and bustle of the day had given way to a peaceful stillness. A world paused in anticipation of Christmas morning. As Kaito looks over the city, he reflects on the day's events. The kindness of Mrs. Sato, the music that stirred his soul, the shared warmth at the soup kitchen. Each memory glows within him, a series of small flames that push back the darkness of his loneliness. This Christmas Eve, Kaito realized, was unlike any he had known before. It was a journey through moments of kindness, music, and shared humanity, a journey that restored his faith in the magic of the season. Kaito sits down in the snow, still holding the wooden train. He looks up at the sky, now a canvas of stars and snowflakes. A sense of calm and contentment washes over him. There, under the starlit sky, Kaito found his Christmas, not in grand gestures or lavish gifts, but in the simple, heartfelt moments that had filled his day. As the clock struck midnight, signaling the arrival of Christmas Day, Kaito's heart was no longer heavy. He had discovered the true essence of Christmas, a time for giving, for sharing, and above all, for hope. The first light of Christmas morning breaks, casting a soft golden hue over the snow-covered city. The scene transitions to Kaito's small home, where he is gently waking up, the wooden train from Mrs. Sato still clutched in his hands. As dawn ushered in Christmas Day, Kaito awoke to a world transformed. The struggles and shadows of the past seemed distant, overshadowed by the new light of hope and joy. Kaito sits up, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. He looks around his modest room, which now seems different, touched by the magic of the experiences he had the night before. The humble room, once a reminder of all that Kaito lacked, now glowed with the warmth of his newfound perspective. The walls, the fireplace, even the small window all bore witness to his journey of rediscovery. He gets up and walks to the window, peering out at the snow-covered landscape. The world outside is quiet, serene, a stark contrast to the vibrant energy of the market and the music from the night before. In the stillness of the morning, Kaito felt a deep sense of gratitude. The greatest gifts he had received this Christmas were not material, but moments of genuine human connection and kindness. Kaito takes a deep breath, a smile slowly forming on his lips. He holds the wooden train close, a symbol of the kindness he had experienced, and looks forward to the day ahead. This Christmas, Kaito realized, was about more than just gifts and lights. It was about the spirit of giving, the joy of sharing, and the resilience of the human heart. As Kaito gazed out at the world, his heart full of newfound joy and hope, he knew that this Christmas would be one to remember, not for what he received, but for what he discovered within himself and in the world around him.